Okay, Pownal Select Board will call the meeting to order on Thursday, June 15th at 7 p.m. for agenda approval. Approval of the minutes of 6/8/17. Warrants, mail, administrative assistant report, transfer station supervisor's monthly board meeting, new business, Burt Brown fundraising event, Brick Knopf, Vermont Youth Conservation Group, work in the town forest. Under old business, equipment disposal bids, Mount Anthony culvert bid, fiscal year 17 budget adjustments, and I want to talk about the clerk expenses for year end. Need a motion approved.
So moved.
Second. Anything to be added? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I have a question that's got nothing to do with anything. Are we gonna be able to hear with the air conditioner on?
Yeah, I can
Are we
hear.
gonna have trouble on the air?
Shows. Okay. Approve the minutes of 6/8/17. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor say aye.
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 Abstention, nays, warrants. Payroll ending 6/16/17 in the amount of $6,853.29. Accounts payable ending 6/16/2017 in the amount of $12,224. Festnol was $2,046. That was for the wastewater treatment plant. I think that was covered by a grant. And TAM Waste Management was $2,600. I read the thing, it said that was grant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mail. We have a water quality report for the landfill. It basically says the water quality in the vicinity of the landfill appears to be stable without troublesome detections of any volatile solids and basically heavy metals or indicated parameters. So the report is good. I'd like to keep doing that year to year. We have a flyer from the Vermont Land Trust, which talks about some of the work they're doing and some of the work they've done, and shows some of the various projects they've worked on. One of them was, I was looking through this, which we'll all be aware of, was our, I'll get the right name here, if I can find it. Watch me not find it. A Mighty Food Farm has moved to Shasberry, and they were a helping hand in that. I was hoping to find more on it, but that's one of them that was written in their brochure here. Okay, and then I have slope stabilization culvert replacement, stone line ditch is for Town Highway 29A on Manhale South grant agreement. What's your pleasure? Have you all seen this and looked at it?
I have, I moved to sign it.
Second. Any further discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Damn. Administrative assistant report.
We worked on the equipment disposal bid with the road foreman, posted at the local store. The bid opening was this morning with 2 bids submitted. We'll deal with those later. We issued the blacktop bid award notice to Rope Haven, contacted the town forester regarding the 29th special board meeting. He plans to attend, and most likely I'll see him sometime in the office before that date. Filled some public records requests pertaining to the various emails that circulated the last 2 weeks about the BRCD. Mount Anthony Structures bid opening was held on Tuesday at 10 a.m. There were 3 bidders for consideration. The engineer has rendered his recommendation, which is an agenda item this evening. Review budget expenditures with the road foreman and treasurer for the road fund budget adjustments tonight. Also discuss budget adjustments for the treatment plant with the chief operator, and those will be addressed next week at the sewer meeting. Follow up with Chuck Watson on the telephone upgrade. He plans to submit options and also talk about computer purchase info next week as we're rolling into July 1. He had remember we recommended we were doing 3 replacements. So I think he's tying all that together.
Okay.
Followed up with VLCT on the transfer inspection and the 2016 equipment grant reimbursement, and those monies were received yesterday or today, maybe this morning. The town received $698 from the $1,000 purchase. Jen Hawley has been scheduled to meet with the office staff next Wednesday for input on the town website. The town received a project status on the solar array project at the treatment facility from Trilon Partners. Our project is on hold at this time, and you guys all have a detailed email explaining all of that. So that's my report on activities this week.
Thank
Next
you.
week we're at the plant, and the following week is our special meeting with quite a bit on the agenda.
Okay.
I have a question on one of those items. Last week we awarded our bid for paving. Came in considerably a lot less than we had budgeted. I think I'd like to see how much it would cost to finish the last little piece of Burrington Road that we did the previous year. I'd like to button that paving up on that road.
I think probably we ought to take a closer look at tonight's budget adjustments on the
Okay.
road budget.
Okay.
And discuss about.
Well, I think we should at least know what it would cost to finish it. It's
Well, Joel will be in,
very
so we
small
can,
piece.
we
Okay.
can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's coming in tonight.
Yes.
Any other? Thanks, Linda. Transfer station supervisor monthly board report. We got an empty chair up here for you.
You could stand
I'm
on
gonna stand
this.
it the whole time, I'll tell you that. I'll get down here close to all this stuff, my goodness. Okay. I'll try to get this through in a hurry. It looks like you've got quite a bit of work to do this evening. All right, this is a report for the 15th, which is today. All right, we did get our cameras. I don't have them all installed yet, but I do have the ones up around the office, the hardwired ones, and they're amazing. And we did try the wireless ones, and they're going to work fine. And we took them down, ran them on a drag cord and so forth, and they're going to work just fine. And I think it's going to be very important with some of the things that we're doing as far as the organics to keep things from being contaminations going into that, because of the importance of what we're trying to accomplish there. And I'll touch on that later on. One of the rear tires in the backhoe went, but they replaced the other one about a year and a half ago. Well, actually right before I got there. So they're in pretty good shape now. The backhoes seems to be in really pretty good shape. Revenues are pretty similar to last year. We're seeing a great increase in free dump days. You know, we had people coming in buying permits yesterday, and they come back with the truck just absolutely jammed full. They're taking more than their advantage, but that's what it is. Our permits are at the printers. We'll have those ready to go on time. I had a meeting with Trevor Mance on the organic storage shed, which will be put on the south, inside the tipping shed on the south end. And we're going to make it about 6 foot by 9 foot. And we'll have able to store the organic containers. We're going to have the sawdust that we have to have with it. And then I'm working with Mike Batcher about getting composting buckets to sell to the customers. They're going to be kind of inexpensive compared to what some commercial ones are, but they work well. And we can sell those. I have enough room to store about 50 of those in there. Hopefully we can sell those, and we get people going on this organic. I know it's gonna take some time, you know, old dogs do tricks, you know, but we're gonna have to do it, okay? Since our last meeting, we've gotten over $1,200 in recycling money credits with Manswar cash. I don't know if we've received the one from the e-cycles yet. If we haven't, it should be coming any day now, and that's over $400 from our last load. I mean, we're just getting swamped, and I got a feeling with the free dump days, people are still bringing more and more of those in, so I got a feeling in another week or two, we're gonna send another load of that, and it's basically about $400 to do a full load every time, which is really kind of nice for us, okay? Last meeting we had about the compliance for the insurer when we had our grants. And when I talked to the guy, I talked to Adam several times about it, but he sent me a thing that you got those today, right?
Yes, they're forwarded onto the board.
Okay.
We have them in our packets here.
And they're really not much of anything. And he didn't understand why we didn't get the 50% the last time. We're getting it this time, so you know, that's fine. And there's one thing I don't have on here about operations that I do want to mention. It's a household hazardous waste day. It was a disaster. And I was embarrassed. It was not the Alliance's fault. It wasn't Bennington's fault. It was, and they admitted it, it was Casella's and Clear Harbor. And I went to a meeting last Friday at 1 o'clock at the Bennington with Stu Hurd, 2 representatives from Casella, 1 from Clear Harbor, Michael Batcher, and myself. I being the only one in the whole bunch that was there. It took me 1 hour and 53 minutes to go through there. And they knew very quickly how upset I was and how I said I was embarrassed until I got back to the office. I had 1 call, and I had 5 people complain that day, and I had 3 or 4 others complain the next couple days. And here I was. I mean, I'm trying to push this thing. We're handing out the pamphlets and so forth, and I was embarrassed, and they know it. And they're working on some alternatives for this in the future, so that this will not happen again. You know, it was a bunch of errors, but and they admitted it. I mean, Casella's and Clear Harbor, they admitted they messed it up. I mean, they were big enough to do that, but that was one of the things that you know.
Well, how did they do that with the flow of traffic? Or?
No, they didn't show up for an hour. They showed up an hour late.
Okay.
And Casella's changed the contract time from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And then they showed up and they tried to go early and they tried to stay late. Yeah. You can't catch up when you're that far behind. And we made recommendations. They have a lower road that they have blocked off. And Stu Hurd said, well, we could probably even pave that and use that for the road to come in so they're not blocking off the traffic for the regular garbage people, you know, going through their scales. I mean, this is what I said, was, why don't we have that road open? They can have it basically the same place, and then they can come out the other way.
Is this always going to be held at the same place in Bennington, or is it
Probably. It's a good spot to have it. They've got pervious material there. To have it, you have to have it on concrete or asphalt or something, kind of in case it spills.
So they're working out
they're working it out.
They got some details they got to work out to make it run smooth.
Yeah, it would have worked better. I mean, it's still kind of slow, but if they do this, people will whisk in and out of there like nothing. So, I mean, it was a good meeting last week. So,
Okay.
did that. Okay, now the strangest things, the dehumidifier down here, we got it turned on. I've checked it a couple of times, and the hose is full of water, and it's doing well. And I crawled down in there, and you can see moisture under the vapor barrier and so forth. So everything seems to be working well down here. The fan, I checked it the other day, it was on high humidity. It was blowing out.
Do we have a humidity?
The fan is on a humidistat.
Okay.
So the fan is right about that gentleman
And
right there.
what's it set on?
Oh, it's hanging from the
But do
seat.
you know what the humidity it's set on, the temp?
I think we set it at 40%.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering. If you had something that was hanging on the wall, see how well you're doing to that? Because you can buy humidity.
Well, with that thing running, you know, when the humidity gets up to 40%, you know, it's
should be
taking
pretty
down.
dry.
Yeah,
It should be
it
pretty
is dry. I mean, when I was down there, it was kind of a humid day, and it really was.
dry.
It really was dry. I mean,
Okay.
everything seems to be working really well down there.
And I just like checks and balances on that because of
Yeah.
all the issues we've had.
Well, I understand. And I didn't know that we were cleared by VOSH until Jim Tiernan came up to the transfer station and told me. I mean, did the town ever receive anything from them at all?
No. So he must have called up.
He called me.
He spoke to me, and I told him to check here, and I didn't think we had anything, didn't see anything. But he could always call the state.
And he called me. Well, he came in to see me too. So, all right. The signs was Linda's doing it, but Lucy called me up to do some measurements and so forth. And I think the things that I saw she's done are pretty good.
We agreed on 2 cents.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I met yesterday actually Bill Pownal and John Copens about the Empower Pownal, and John was just all thrilled about the ability to put things on because you actually we have priorities on closed landfills basically. But I guess what it is, we have trouble getting the power out of there or whatever. And I don't know if the new net metering law or something will address that or not. But it'd be great to do it if we could.
I don't think there's any three-phase power over there.
Yeah, I don't know how.
It's up by Washington Road or out on
Yeah,
Cross
there's
Road.
none out there.
Yeah.
You gotta either go to the Cross Road or
Right. If they could,
Mile away.
whatever it would take, it would be great. So basically, that's what all I have right now. But we're ready to go with. We're going to be set to go with the new organics collections, and everything else is working fine. Things are moving along. They really are.
I'd like to talk about the municipal office, the transfer station. They sent to us the visit they did for their inspection.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen this?
No, I have not.
Tom, he didn't come until today. Tom, you have a copy in your box.
No.
You probably just grabbed your copy.
Well, here, I have an extra
Oh, we got-
copy.
Next one.
Yeah.
And
I put
basically,
that one on top because I
some
have
of
a
this
question
looks like
on
it's
it.
This
rated
building-
low and some is rated high. So, but if you get in, the first one they talked about was the electronic storage. Is that the one you're on? So I said if you get the same one we get, we can.
Well, I printed mine off and
Let's see,
they're
where's-
vertical rather than horizontal, but
The
hazard number, it's the hazard number.
685.
685 got right now.
Okay.
And he talks about these. Not seen these. I assume you haven't done anything.
There's a
yet.
transition. Oh no, he
You know.
came there, but he didn't.
But he didn't converse with you on any of this, I assume.
Highlighted with visible. Well, that's easy enough. The leading edge, the transition step that poses an increase. Okay, that's at the swap shop building. Is what he's saying here.
Yeah.
Transfer station electronic storage.
Okay.
Is what that
And
one.
then,
Yeah, well, he has a list of different ones, and some are swap shops, and some of the others. And basically, just so people out there know, this is our insurance loss control report. And what they do is an inspection of the site, and then they
Right.
say what is high priority or low priority that they feel might be ways to improve things.
right.
And you not having this, I don't know if we should go.
Oh,
through this.
let's go right now. Okay, I mean, those are, there's no reason, I mean, those shelves have been holding forever and ever. I mean, they got the books and so forth on them. I don't understand what it is.
Well, I'm
I
not,
mean,
it's not gonna-
I can strengthen them. I have a lot of angle iron there that somebody brought up. I mean,
I think if you look through the rest
Yeah,
of them,
go to 686.
there's definitely some concerns.
medium.
Yeah, these are higher priority.
Okay.
There.
It says
Swap
it
shop.
poses a risk to collapse.
It's all to do with a swap shop. So if you improve it.
Due to potential collapse of adjacent structures and property or business in the area. The swap shop.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could look at it, see what it is.
And he's got suggested correction dates and everything. I'm surprised they didn't give you this
Well, I-
before now.
Well, they did it in 723 was correction
Yeah.
dates. They gave you correction dates to meet. And basically the inspection was, visit date was 524.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So then today's 6:15.
Yeah, so it's only been a few weeks ago.
Yeah, right.
So I would say, we know we're gonna meet again in a couple months.
Mhm.
I think you're better off taking this, do what you do, and when you come back and give me your report, you can address these.
Mhm.
Nelson,
Yeah.
I think one of them here, I mean, I've read this over and looked at recommendations. I think one of them being the swap shop. I think you have to, look at risk versus benefit. I think if you read what they're telling us here, I think we need to close that building until we can be sure that the
Well, that's-
integrity is, I mean, I would assume that we would.
Put all precaution tape.
Well, that's well, he's talking about the tire storage buildings leaning. Yeah, well, that one's.
No, I'm talking about number 686, if you read
Yeah,
the
but that, it says
recommendations.
it's location swap shop, but then down, it's a tire storage building.
that he's
It's
talking
not, that's
about.
not the swap shop.
Oh, you think he's got his
I think he's
detail
got a
wrong?
mistake there. That's the tire storage building is one he's discussing, not the swap shop.
Yeah, because he used the swap shop in a couple of them.
Yeah, he
And
did.
that's not the swap shop. Swap shop's not, I mean, it was put in on a little bit of a tilt, but I mean, it's fine.
Well,
Let's put it this way,
Well,
if I walk in it, it's okay.
Well-
Fall through, we're okay.
again, take a look at it, see what the safety
According to you.
issues are. There's the person's names on this to contact.
Right.
So if you would contact him
Right.
and then you can report back to us
Yeah.
as you correct these issues.
Well,
I know it all has to do with our insurance, so.
Yeah. It was
And
this
a couple
way,
of them
yeah, this
have
is way to get.
suggest-
We had it out again on the. He didn't like it because we had it out again on the Pownal stuff. And he said, and I said, well, our customer said, well, I'm going to tell you something. This is a direct quote. I don't care about your customers. I got a little testy after that. I'm sorry. I do care about my customers.
Well, he was probably concerned about the safety of your customers.
No.
In fact,
He was worried about workman's comp. He wants the customers to throw the stuff into the.
But you know what? It's one of those things, we don't have a choice. I mean, they're our insurer. I mean, if they're
Well, we
telling
can't-
us we have to do something, we have to comply. And I mean, and again, I think if you read some of these things here,
No.
read the recommendations, the swap shop building, or whatever you want to call it, it should be closed. We shouldn't be taking a risk. We shouldn't
It's
take-
not the swap shop that he's talking about.
Okay,
It
well, I'm
says tire-
reading-
It
then
says
what
swap
he-
shop, but that's not what he means. I'm
Okay.
telling you, it's a tire storage.
Yeah,
You read down below, it's a tire storage.
Yeah, I don't want to get arguing over what's what. I'd rather have you talk to him
Yeah.
and then come back and give us a report, being that
Okay.
it's mostly transfer station is what
I'll
he's
send you,
listed here.
I'll talk to him next week, well.
And then at that point, if you want to give us something written before
I
we
will,
meet
I'll
in 2
get-
months, that's fine.
I'll
But
send
you
I'll
come
send you
in-
something after I talk to him.
But based on this, you got until July something. to-
23rd until,
Yeah. Then you got August 22nd on some of the others. So if you can give it, just make them happy, make us happy.
I don't know if I can make him happy, but that's all right. We'll try. I mean, he's,
Well,
he
he's
and I
concerned-
have some differences of opinion.
Well, the bottom line is, he wants to make sure nobody gets hurt, as you said, the workman
No,
comp.
yeah, and workman's comp. It doesn't matter about the customers. And he's
Well, I
very
would
blatant
assume
about
he,
that.
I would assume he wouldn't want the liability of the customer suing us either.
It doesn't seem to bother him.
Don't know, we could always come in and have him come in and we could talk to him here too.
Yeah.
All right?
Yep. Okay?
Yeah, I thought you had that already. Thank you.
No, I did not. So I will take that. Thank you so much.
Yep.
And I have a lot to do with these other folks here.
Yep. We're trying to whip right through them. Bert,
Okay.
Thanks,
Have a
Tom.
good evening now.
thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Bert, what do you got for us?
Hi, how you doing? Put me first, hey? Well, last year I come to you about the Green Mountain Car Show.
Yep.
I don't know. I've heard a lot of great reports from a lot of people. A few of you I haven't seen, a few of you I have, and you also agreed. It was a good success for the time we pulled it off in 30 days. We pulled in 130 cars, which was kind of a little more than what we way more than we expected, by probably double of it. It turned out good, so we're going to give it a shot again this year for a round 2. We're going with the same format as what we had last year, with everything set up for that. It's going to be the 3rd weekend in September, the 15th, 16th, and 17th of 2017. Here's a flyer you can pass around. This year, I want to add a little something to that, but I'll add that in when I mention the next little show here I got. Like I said, I pretty much want to keep it the same. We're going to stay right in the same area because we were nowhere near full capacity.
Okay.
We had so much room to expand down there. James, come on over here if you want with me, bud.
And this will be at the racetrack.
Yeah. This is my friend James. He's another one that's come on with the Bennington Cruisers. We are definitely all registered nonprofit organization now. And we did some donations and stuff with the money that we raised, the little bit of money we raised, because we didn't make a big profit, but we did come above what we spent, and we made a little money, so we helped out a few families around town and stuff that needed it over the winter, things like that. As we grow, we're looking to do bigger things.
How many people did you have come to the one last time?
I think we were talking, I think it was just under 1,000 attendance is what they said we got for it.
The reason why I asked that is because
Yeah.
the state permits at the 2,000, you have to go through the state permit
Yeah,
process.
it was under 1,000 that we got last year. So I think that's why I'm staying like I did with the insurance and everything, because we weren't at the full capacity of it. That's for sure what we needed for that.
Okay.
And we were under 1,000. I think it was like, when they figured it out, it was 900 and something spectators, which I figure for a 30-day advertisement, that's pretty darn good, considering we had 130 cars and then we had the vendors and stuff. So it turned out good, you know, for a good 3-day weekend.
I have a question there. You said it gets up over 2,000. You need a state permit.
Yeah, you can go online and check for assembly permit, and the state police are the ones that gets involved.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
a form online that you fill out.
I've got all that information already at home, because when I last year checking into this, when it was all mentioned, I went right home, Googled it all, knew what I had, got all that info. So yeah, we got that already at home.
Now, is that something you guys would help stand behind us on?
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah,
we
he-
give a letter of support and other things with that.
Yeah, Nelson already spoke with me on that and said he would help us do what we needed to there.
So long as the rest of the board agrees, I have no trouble with
Right.
doing that.
Not
Right.
the large gathering ordinance.
Yeah, we're working. What we're trying to do is make this a little smoother.
Yeah.
We're working on an ordinance for a large gathering.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, 200 or more people.
Mhm.
We're going to have a permit process where people can come in here to the town and get that to the select board.
Okay.
But if it's 2,000, that's way too big for us to handle. You're going to have to.
Right. I'd love to say guarantee that we would have that, but I don't want to, because I know what we had last year. I'm sure we're gonna probably get, more than what we had last year.
But you could grow. You could
Right,
grow as you
exactly.
grow.
We got growing room. By next year, I would say, yeah, more than likely, we're gonna have to go to a lot bigger situation than what we got. Because a lot of people showed interest in it. I've had people asking around town already this year what we're doing, and I've told them I'm in the works of it. I've already talked with Steve, got that already started, already got the insurance contract all in line and everything like that.
Fire, rescue. all
Yep,
those
I've
people.
already talked with them. Fire department and rescue squad are both going to work with me this year.
Okay.
The rescue squad's coming down all 3 days. They're going to set up a booth and be right there full time all 3 days with us.
Okay.
Fire department said that they would have guys on standby for us if we needed anything. And one rule that I am definitely highlighting this year with all my cars and stuff is every car has to have a fire extinguisher in it. Is one thing that I'm making sure of.
Do you have vendors or serving food?
Yep, they will have.
Porta potties, those sort of things?
Yep, I got all that stuff just like last year. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I got Uncle Bob Septic's back on board with us again with them. Tam is on board with us with their
Waste.
with the waste service. My security, I've got that already set again. Already got a hold of working with the sheriff's department. Talked with a couple of the guys there about getting their cones. Already talked with the Bennington Rural, some of the Pownal firemen and North Bennington firemen to do the traffic in the road down there. Everything I went through last year, I've already hit every avenue already.
I'm gonna say, sounds like you're getting it all lined up.
Yeah, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait till the last 30 minutes on it,
All right.
or 30 days. I mean, but yeah, I've been working, getting everything lined up.
I don't have a problem. I don't know what the rest of the board, they can make comments on. What's your feelings on this?
I didn't hear any problems about it last year.
It's a good thing.
Except you forgot to leave us our passes so we could go down.
Yeah, it's all right.
We were gonna go in and check it out, but we never did.
I actually, believe it or not, I did tell my wife, I said, if somebody shows up here and they tell you that they're from the town, work with the town of Pownal, let them in, because they were getting passes. We just, with everything going on, I mean, I spent that last week right down there pretty much. It was like set up this.
See what was going
Well,
on.
well,
I'll-
the fees,
I'll make
the
sure
fees,
I get
the
it.
fee's not that high anyway. What's the
No, it was a
cost?
$7 fee.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
I mean, everybody was like, "Wow, you're only charging $7." Yeah, I want it to be a fun thing, you know,
You
and
wanna
that's
get
what
families. You wanna get
exactly.
families.
And I'll be honest with you, I was really impressed because there was some people that a couple people I've gone to shows with for years, and there's one lady over in New York. She puts on a show every year in July, and it's a big show. She showed up down there, and she showed up Sunday when it rained. And I said, well, today it rained, you know, there ain't many people showing up. She goes, I had to come. She goes, I had so much fun here yesterday, I had to come and just tell you how much fun it was. Thanks for doing the show. And it made me feel good. So it showed me I did something good for the people, and people liked it. And so I'm hoping to do that same thing. If we're good on that one, I can move on to my next one I got.
so you're working with Steven Solar, the racetrack owner?
Yep, Steve Solar, yep. I'm
Okay.
working directly with Steve Solar himself.
Okay.
Yep. And I've been in contact with him. And right now he don't have anybody down there, but I'm kind of just watching, just see what's going on. I'll be going down there and doing some lawn mowing and stuff here soon, and get some trash or grass trimmed up and stuff like that, and start getting it cleaned up and ready for the show.
Oh, super.
So
Anything more on that one?
that's about all I got on that one.
You guys got any questions?
Next thing.
Okay.
You got another one, huh?
Yes. I got talking with the guys at the Pownal Firehouse down by the post office down in South Pownal. They thought it'd be a good idea to do a small car show and have them do a little cookout sort of thing. They could generate a little money for them, and we could generate a little money to help us with our big show at the end of the year. So we started talk on it, and in the process of talking on it, a really close friend of mine of 30 plus years was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So the name easily got named. Don't mind the last 3 words, it just come out, it's the way it happened, but we'll call it Kick Cancer's Butt for the camera. He was diagnosed 2 months ago with it, and he passed away just, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. He passed away. He ain't able to make the show. We're having the show, and I heard about this other permit thing going on, so I also wanted to bring this up to you too about this. This is one of the main reasons why I showed up here so early about it. Yeah, it's June 25th, and it's going to be at the firehouse down here where they hold the fair, the Pownal Fair every year.
And this is gonna be
Basically, what it is it's just going to be a small thing there. There's going to probably maybe 10, 15 guys that are going to show up that own like car shops or whatever that do like fabrication work, welding for like building race cars, hot rods, street rods, stuff like that. I'm calling them vendors, but they're just guys that are showing up and want to set up their trailers and their cars and kind of show off some of their stuff for the race shops and stuff like that. Basically, they're still car show guys.
Are these people that'll probably, some of them will be attending your car show in September too, or?
Oh yeah. These guys will be coming to the show in September too. A lot of these guys.
So this is just a fundraiser for his family.
Yeah, actually, it has gone from being a fundraiser for him and his family because he had the cancer to we are donating everything to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Because since he's passed away, that's where they want it to go. They want it to go to St. Jude's, and that's where we're going with it.
Okay, good.
So that is
Is
what
this
we...
that same day as the fair?
No,
Okay.
the fair's in July. The fair's in July. This will be not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. Everything, was great. We were hoping he was going to make it here to the show. I mean, he was actually, for a short period of time, it looked like he was going in the other direction and something was going good for him, but then it went bad for him. A few of the guys have brought it to my attention that there's gonna be some guys that are gonna wanna kind of pay a tribute to the man. And they've asked if there was a place that I could set up an area where we could do a burnout pit. They've offered to pay for the insurance, whatever needs to be paid for, taken care of. They said they don't care what they need to do, but they would love to have a spot just in case somebody wanted to do that. I've checked around a few spots. I have noticed a few spots. I do have a few spots in mind if it was something that could be done.
What's the time period? How long are you talking for something like that?
It would only be probably a half hour to an hour long. It would be something that would be set up, it would be done and over with.
Yeah, because the issue is the amount of noise you would create and how long you would create it.
Right. It wouldn't be all day long. It wouldn't be an all day long thing. It would be no more than an hour's time.
How about we say no more than 2 hours tops, and then that way the area.
I think an hour would do it.
Yeah.
I think an hour would do it because the way I got
I
it.
know. I'm right across the street. What
Might
time of
enjoy it.
night? What time of the day?
It's in the afternoon. I want to do this at like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon before everybody leaves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to hand out the awards and then say, okay, guys, pack them up, let's go. Do the burnouts. When they're done, they can roll out. Everybody leaves and we're
The only
done.
thing is down there, it's right in the valley, and even when they do the fireworks, it echoes off both of those mountains.
Yeah.
And it's,
So you're gonna burn out in gravel, or you're gonna have,
No, what I had for an idea was, you know where the old firehouse was before they built the new one up there? There you got that little bridge area there.
the landscaper has it now, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
firehouse.
There's that little bridge. Well, from that bridge up to that main road up there, there's no houses. There's just the river that's right there on the side.
if that's on town road.
That's town road.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't.
right. And that's why I'm asking, that's why I've come to you and said I'd be willing to pay for permit. We're willing to get barriers, whatever. Or another spot would be, and I know this is again a town road, but it's a dead end town road that nobody's around on, and it's that strip into track.
That's not a town road. That's a Steve Soul question. Now, what, you're talking about the
From
the
the
one
main-
up this end of the
The one
track?
that's
No.
blocked off at the track?
Or
Next to
the-
the
No.
Little League field, the
No,
field?
the one that, the one where you go down the lower entrance and pull in through, because from what I understood last year,
That's
when you,
ours, that's ours.
That's
that's
down.
yours. That little strip when you pull in and go down through to the barriers there, that little strip there is yours.
Yes.
There's nobody around, there's plenty of room.
It's still town road. I think that's.
I think
the
you got
issue.
a liability issue if you start
I
doing that.
think you're
on
gonna
town
find
road.
that it's illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a town road, you just
But,
can't do it.
Now, as far as illegal, my thing on that is, if it's illegal, why is it allowed in many other areas and towns and stuff that, I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful in
I don't
any
know.
way, I just know that this
I
is
guess I
something
would-
that's
I would-
done all over the place.
I guess I would like to know where it is done, how they're doing that process, because I certainly haven't heard of it being done all over different towns and
We've
stuff.
been to other car shows.
Yeah, we do, I go to one right over in Scotticook, New York, actually, the lady that was telling me, she's got an actual burnout pit there, where they
But-
set up,
But
and they
that's,
got insurance and all that.
but that's different than being on a town road. Our issue is that
Right.
you're talking about doing this on a town road,
Okay,
okay? And I think that would be the wrong thing for us to allow, is to say to somebody, hey, all of a sudden you can go burn out on the town road. We'll have a group that want to come in and burn out on South Stream before we know it, because they're large picnics that can occur out there. What I would rather do is talk to Steve Solar. He has a large field. He has lots of area. It might be more appropriate that you're going to do it on a person's private property. It's his insurance, his concern. But I would
So
definitely, I
you-
definitely would say keep it to an hour or under. You could.
yeah.
If you
Oh,
go
yeah,
down
it's
there,
not gonna
we're all
be,
gonna-
no, it's not gonna be an all-day event or anything like that. And these guys just wanna pay tribute to a guy, as you can see in the flyer, he was a drag racer. He did it all his life. He was 77 years old?
68.
Or 68 years old. And
I don't know. You guys in agreement with what I just said about this? Go on the track and talk it out and work.
Yeah, I
with
don't
them.
think you should do it in town road.
No,
Yeah,
not
you
on
know,
the
And you
but-
got
but-
two businesses down here you're gonna hamper, so.
Yeah, you can't do that. And then while on the other side of it is an hour a reasonable time to make that kind of noise is the next question. Because you know it's gonna squeal through the whole.
Well, you got houses right there down,
Well, we have people that holler about the fact when somebody practices on their own track.
Right.
With motorcycles. So,
Well, they got that driveway at the track that's all, concrete barriers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what we're gonna do. We're gonna have the
Well, that's
concrete
not
barriers
town
and
road,
stuff.
so you do whatever you want over there if you get the okay from him.
yeah, do it down at the racetrack.
So you're okay with me getting with Steve and doing it there?
That's private property.
Yeah, the only concern I voice is I'd like you to
Right.
keep the noise down to an hour because
Yeah.
I will hear if it gets way beyond that, even though our bylaws say you can do, as long as you're not continuous for X amount of time,
Right.
you're okay. But if you hold it to an hour and do your thing and you're in and out of there, I think we'll be fine. But just as long as you're not on town road doing it.
Okay.
Or state highway. Don't be on a state highway either. They'll come down
Right.
and get you.
Well, that's why I'm coming to you folks, because I don't want to just take and have my friends come in and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stop a danger before it happens. And I want to, and the thing of it is when I do these car shows, I know there's going to be people that's going to want to do certain things at certain car shows, and I want to be safe about it, but yet have fun too. You know what I mean? And we want to work with the town because we want to. What we want to do is we want to build this. I'll be honest with you. We want to make that September show. We want to make it huge. We want it to be one of the
Want it to
biggest
grow.
thing this town is seen, and you know what I mean. We want to bring people to our town. I love this area, and it's beautiful. I mean, last year everybody that come to the show just praised how beautiful it was. So
Well,
you know.
I'm gonna try to get, Jason, you haven't said much. What do you think of this whole burnout?
I think you're gonna find that it's illegal on a public road.
Yeah, but what
All
about?
right.
In the neighborhood, I don't have a problem with the racetrack if you're gonna do something like that. But
Right.
I think in a neighborhood like that,
Right.
You know,
Well, that's why I'm bringing it to you guys.
That's
I mean,
just my feeling. I've got nothing against. I just think you got to respect people's.
Yeah,
it's a
I will,
weekend,
exactly,
It's a Sunday.
that's-
I don't think the last thing they want to do is smell burned rubber.
right.
Got to be honest with you. I mean,
But if I can set something up at the
I
track
think
with
at the
Steve,
track you're not going to affect anybody.
and we'll be fine there.
Well, there will be a noise thing, and people will complain about the noise, as I said, it echoes right off those mountains, and they complain about the fireworks being at the track and everything.
Well, you live there.
before.
What do you think about this? Should it be something they're doing, or should we be saying no?
I say no to town roads. I'm concerned about the noise
At the
at
track.
the track. If you're at the
Give it
track.
maybe a try on this show here and see how it goes and see if it works.
Yeah, there's ways.
So you're thinking of doing this more than once? This isn't just a English.
If it come out good, if it was a good turnout, I would think about it. Yes, I would definitely think about it because I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's something that a lot of the car shows are doing nowadays.
Yeah, but
You know what I
But
mean?
would you move it to the September timetable? If this works out, what you're doing here for this small event, would it be something that you'd be moving to the car show, the big car show, or would you be holding two events?
Eventually, I might want to add it to that end show, but it's nothing on the agenda right now. This
Okay.
is just a one-time thing that I'm thinking. If it
That's
works
why I'm
out,
okay with it.
things go good, and it happens to work out good, and we don't get no complaints, and the people around town were like, hey, that was kind of cool, then I might propose it again.
Well,
But yeah, I mean,
What you need to do, well, I'm gonna go down there. What do you think, Bruce? Then I'll.
I think it's all right at the racetrack, but I still think they ought to notify the sheriff's department that they're gonna do it down there.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it may
we would-
be a traffic stopper right there.
yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can-
Because you're already gonna be working with the fire department. and
Right,
stuff.
right, I will be working,
And the
yeah.
rescue, let the police know it too, and
Yeah.
especially the sheriffs, because the sheriff works for us, they're gonna get calls.
Right, right. I'll let them know, yeah, because I'm sure they'll hear the revving of the engines or something. Somebody will be like, oh, somebody's racing or something. I'm sure and get a call. So yeah, I will definitely get a hold of Joel or whoever I need to there and let them know that we're in the works of something, and I'll let them know if it definitely happens.
Ronnie, you've been quiet.
Well, I'm not familiar with this, and I've been to quite a few car shows. I'm not familiar with burnouts, but there is a danger factor there. And look they used to have airplane shows down there. Just bring it up to tell you about the community. They had mostly all electrical months. They didn't make no noise. The guy living next to me, he had a gas room. He said, I got the only gas room down there. So, but they complained about the noise. They were buzzing their hoses and this and that. So I don't think we'll get a good outcome out of that. But I've never been to one, so I'm not the guy to ask. If I went to a car show and I saw it was well run or something, I may. But there's liability issues. I mean, hey,
Oh, yeah, I
there's guys
understand.
you burn out. All right, you're fine. A burnout is fine. But this ain't Sturgis, South Dakota.
No, it ain't gonna be
This is a
nothing.
different place.
It ain't gonna be no big meltdown, tire shaking thing. No, it's just somebody
That's
getting
what I'm-
out there
look
doing
at there's a senior citizen sitting right beside you. I know he ain't happy about it. But it
Had to
don't
wake
matter.
up, didn't
It
you?
don't matter personally to me, but I've never been to one, so I don't know how it's run.
Julia said you've been to one of those.
It will be fun. It will be fun. Trust me.
He put you right out there.
Ain't that nice,
You've said this to me
I'm
before.
going to tell you how much older he is than me.
I believe
I'm glad you do.
So, I guess where I'm at then is I got to get a hold of Steve and talk with him, see what he says.
Yep.
My concern is safety and noise.
Well, the definitely safety is the number one thing we're going to make sure of. I'm going to have safety barriers. I'm going to have it set up. No spectators will be near the vehicles or anything like that. The vehicles will be pointing away from anybody. Anybody that will be standing there watching will be standing behind everything that'll be going on.
Well, that's the other thing I'm looking at is that there's ways to soundproof things even when they're in a tunnel.
Yes.
I was thinking if you have the rear of the cars facing like the building,
That's-
the building should take
Most of the noise.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking of doing. And what I was when you said Steve's, because I had thought about that. You know where the barriers are that he's got there. The cars can go just beyond the barriers, so all the noise will actually be going towards the building. You know what I mean? Get the noise towards the building, so it ain't blasting
Now, wait a
over
minute.
across the river.
You're gonna do it on the other side of the building or in the big area that's blocked off?
You're not doing it where the ball field is. You're going to do it inside the track, right?
Yes, inside the track.
But you're gonna do it on their road, not our road, right?
Right.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm
I
going to be.
misunderstood what you were
You got the ball field here, and it's blocked off here. Then you got the big parking lot right here. Then you got the building. Then you got the barriers, and then there's your road. I'm going to be over here in this parking lot here, and the cars are going to be pointing towards the river corner type. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to be going towards anyone. We'll be standing. This is the building. The cars will be here. The people will be standing here. The cars will be going that way. At that angle. So they'll be going away from them. The only ones that'll be there or anywhere near that car. The only thing, if anything happens with that car, the only one that'll get hurt should be the person that's in the car itself. There should be no. Well, no, but I'm just saying that I've already thought of the safety of it. I want
But it's
nobody
not
on the front side of the car is what
Yeah,
I'm
if a
saying.
tire blows up. or
Right,
something.
exactly. If something happens, nobody's going to be
They
in that
shred-
area of
they
the car.
shred something.
What if some senior citizen just starts walking around?
We'll save this. I'll sponsor for
Get me the flameproof.
you. I will. But yeah, there'll be a couple guys over here just watching, making sure nobody's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The staff guys or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would ask around and see what people do with these various things because you said they do it elsewhere.
Yes, they
And
do
and
it.
they might have ways that they're doing some things that we don't know about for the soundproofing. It might be simple as a hay bale near the ground where it's occurring. But I would check that out and just see.
Okay.
How many
And-
cars would be burning out? Like,
I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of them. This guy had probably maybe 15, 20 guys at most that were his main real good buddies that are going to want to pay tribute to him. Other than that, the other people that are going to show up are just guys that are showing up with their cars that they drive to car shows every day.
And they're not going to want to spin it out.
Right, exactly. It's not like you're going to have 500-600 cars wanting to do burnouts. You know, it's just a few guys that are going to want to do it. And instead of seeing them getting out there and just mashing it on the street and getting in trouble or causing an accident, I'd much rather grab a hold of the situation, control it, have it under control instead of not being under control.
Okay.
Is what I'm looking at.
Okay, well,
So we're gonna call this a controlled burnout.
Yeah, exactly. Controlled smoke shows.
you're looking for something to put in that minutes and all.
There you go, Linda.
Sums it up.
Make sure the fire chief signs for that.
Okay, so that's happening June 25th. The other one is in September.
Yes.
The third week in September.
Yes.
Which is the real
Yeah,
total
the
car
big
show.
one.
Okay. I'm sure if we have to come down, we can find you down there at this other one anyways that's occurring
Yeah,
if something
yeah.
happens.
Yeah. And and like I said, as I find out the information, if I know that things are lining up and this is going to happen, I will stop in here or I will see Linda and let you folks know just so you know what's going on.
Okay.
And like I said, we will get the insurance we need or whatever we need to do.
What I would like you to do is to talk to these people and try to come up with as few people as possible doing this
Yep.
noise-making situation.
Yep.
You know, I don't care.
I've actually-
names in a hat or what you do.
The way I've got a list, a sign-up list that I'm going to put people on, and then we're
Okay.
going to go from the sign-up list.
Yeah, because I don't want people
Yeah.
just showing up to come down there and burn out.
Right, exactly. It's going to be just a crew of
You're
them.
not part of the show, you're not.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what we're, and that's another thing I wanted to say too. With anything that we do as a group, the Bennington Cruisers, we're going to highly stipulate that we're doing things the legal way. And if you come to one of our shows and you do something that we don't approve of, we're going to be looking for the cops to take and stick it up your butt. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to do things the right way. We want to have fun, but we want to be safe and do it the right way.
Okay, sounds good.
And if any of anyone of you folks would like to come down and try it, you're welcome.
Yeah, minivans are welcome, trust me.
I'm sick
There
of
goes
it.
one of those fire trucks. All right, thank you very
All
much.
right, all good? All right, thanks, guys.
Take it easy. Good luck.
You get information, come see me here at
I
the
will.
office.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
You gotta send some of them colored cows down. My mother's tired of looking at all the black ones, Jason. She told me that today. She says, has he got any other ones up there other than the black ones? So if I see him, I'll let him know. Thanks, guys.
I miss this churches that used to have the patch cows, the one with the white belly. Yeah. Okay, moving on. You're up.
All right, great.
That's a hard one to follow. But
Yeah,
you're up.
Getting an exciting show tonight.
So my name is Breck Noft. I'm the executive director of the Vermont Youth Conservation Corps, and I had a conversation or two with Linda because I saw an article that was in Vermont Digger about your town forest, and there was two things that jumped out at me about that article. And one was I understand you're still working through a series of questions about access, but the other thing that stuck out to me was you're trying to really figure out how to turn that town forest into an asset for the community, right? And that probably takes on a few different factors are involved with that. There might be some recreational trails. There's probably an economic piece to it. And I think there's a connection between that exploration process that you all are involved in and the work of Vermont Youth Conservation Corps. So I thought I'd just spend 2 minutes talking about who we are and who we serve and what that model is. And then, my hope is that all of you, this can really be the start of an ongoing conversation about potentially VYCC having local youth help you develop a plan and implement that plan for the town forest. So, Vermont Youth Conservation Corps, or VYCC, this is our 32nd summer. And like many conservation corps across the country, our model is really pretty simple. We hire young adults ages 15 to 24, and we have them work on small teams with 2 really good, highly trained crew leaders, and then we put them in front of a project that benefits the community. So the work is tangible, the work is hard, and the work is something that the community really values. And if you're a 16-year-old and you're in a situation where you're working alongside people who are different than you, who have different backgrounds, different home situations, and you have to live with those people, and you have to show up every day, and you got to work hard, and you got to get along with those people. You do that for a month, or you do that for 2 months, and you come out of that a different person. And one of the things that we've done kind of in this neck of the woods, right up in Dorset, is we've helped Dorset develop a plan for their Owl's Head Town Forest. And when we first started a conversation with them, they knew that they wanted to get this town forest, but they didn't necessarily know what they were going to do with it or who was going to do the work. And 2 years later, we've hired crews of local kids who have gone and they've built a trail system in that Owl's Head Town Forest. And as a result, those local kids are really more and more invested in the town. And they take care of it. There's no vandalism. They're monitoring what's going on up there. And all those young people who are involved in the process, they all earn minimum wage, and they get a lot of education and training that comes out of that process. And it's what it is it's an opportunity, I think, for a town not just to get a town forest, but to develop social capital and invest in people, as well as investing in the land. So this is our 32nd summer. We've got about 6,000 alumni. That's a great opportunity for young people to learn and to work hard. I love wearing this uniform. When I was on my way down here, our campus is up in Richmond. On my way down here, I was at Agway in Middlebury, and someone walked in and said, "Hey, what are you guys up to?" I was at BYCC in 1990. And then we're really starting to see second and third generations of people come through the Corps.
Do you hire local kids from town?
Yeah, we do. So what we've done at up in Dorset is we've tried to recruit out of the local high schools. So here we would come down to Bennington High School. We come down and recruit out of Bennington. If there's a tech center down here, we recruit out of the tech center, and local kids would get first dibs, right? And then if we don't fill the crew with local kids, well, then we probably can stick 1 or 2 kids from other parts of the state on the crew.
How are you funded?
So, bunch of different ways. We have AmeriCorps funding, so that could be part of the funding equation. Sometimes town managers can apply for recreational trail RTP funds to help develop funding. Sometimes there's conservation commissions which help fund part of it, and then we bring philanthropy to the table as well. The cost really depends on how many people we're employing, what's the scope of the work, how long we're working. The basic funding structure is everyone gets minimum wage, there's a crew supervision cost, and then there's an admin rate on top of that. So we try to keep it fairly simple.
So it entails camping too?
Yeah, so it would be, it could look a couple of different ways. It could be a day job for kids. What's arguably a more powerful model is when it's a residential experience. As then you're not just working with people, but you're living with people. And I think there's a profound difference to that. So we would have a remote campsite, and participants would be there for either 4 weeks or for 8 weeks. We could also come and do a 2-week job if that's what the town is interested in. And it's pretty simple living. And what's great is kids unplug, and they're really fully immersed in it, and they're removed from the outside world. We enroll a lot of kids who come from less than fortunate home situations. And what's really awesome about the residential experiences, you can take them out of a challenging home situation. Sometimes in our day jobs, get a kid who has a good day with us, and then they go home to a hard situation, they come back the next day, and it's as if they've taken 2 steps backwards. Whereas if you have in a residential setting, you can really create a structured, challenging, yet also safe environment. In any given summer, we'll have about 320 young people participate in the program. We do run crews from March all the way through October. But the big bulk of our summer work is June, July, August. So we could do anything from design a trail system and then let you all figure out how it's going to be built, or take it from soup to nuts, design it with the kids, help find funding, and then actually build a trail system. And we can do technical mountain bike trails, we can do cross-country ski trails, we can do stone steps up rugged terrain. We've been doing this for quite some time, so we have a pretty good handle on how that works.
So the local kids you hire stay within that community? So if you were to help us with our town forest, would they just be kids from Bennington or other parts of the state, or?
So, it's. I guess my answer is, what do you want? We can make that happen. If you all really have a preference, and I would think you would, of having local Bennington kids or Pownal kids be on the crew, well, then we can do that. And if you wanted it to be a crew of 6, well, then we'd find 6 Bennington kids. If you want a crew of 8, we'll try to find 8 Bennington kids.
It's up to us. I think I'm confused as why you need our permission to
Well,
do
it's
that.
gonna work on our land. That's what the issue is.
I thought you were just offering to have the kids come and work on this project. Okay.
Basically, and our preference, of course, would be get as many of the local kids as you can.
Yeah.
And we all know there's challenges in all communities
Sure.
these days. So I agree. I think the program sounds good.
I think it's
I
a
do
wonderful
too.
program.
Can I, excuse me, I'm for the camera, the Julius Rosenwald, whatever, and I live in Pownal, and I've known Brecht for quite some time, and I've actually had the good fortune to visit some of the crews. There was a crew I visited in Williamstown, working a couple summers ago, up in the White Oaks, and had a chance to visit with the kids, and it's impressive. I mean, they're not plugged in, and they're working together, and they come from diverse backgrounds, and they learn to work problems out. And they're not always, it is hard work that they're doing, and the thing I came away with on the visits I've made to crews out in the woods is the pride they take in it. Building a bridge, really making a trail that's comfortable for people to walk on or hike on or whatever. And I came away being really impressed with the kids who were involved. And that's that.
Yeah, I've heard this before, and there's other organizations. I know people volunteer for fixing trails all over the country. This program here, where you get the Vermont Youth Conservation, is
Yeah,
there
you're-
others in other states as
There's
well?
the whole packet is a handful of things in there.
Okay. And is there other states that do similar?
Yeah, so it's an interesting history. I mean, people are probably familiar with the Civilian Conservation Corps that came out of the Depression, right? So
Yep.
we're really the legacy of that. But we're not alone. There's about 100, 120 conservation corps across the country, and some of them are just urban-based. So Los Angeles, for example, has its own conservation corps, but then there are others that are really regional. So the Northwest Youth Conservation Corps is in Oregon and Washington and Idaho and Northern California. The Vermont Youth Conservation Corps, 95% of our work is in Vermont. We do a little bit of work over in the Finger Lakes and some work actually down in North Carolina. But our primary focus is putting Vermont kids to work here in Vermont. We've got a working farm where the food is dedicated to food insecure Vermonters, and we do watershed work, we do some carpentry work. So we try to. Really, the model is, regardless of the program, young kids working together in a structured learning environment and with different kids, so that those learning outcomes are really, really powerful.
Yeah, the reason I ask the question is because sometimes you need experts when you're doing something in the trail, and you can call from the other state and have somebody come in and work and show the children how to do this sort of things. But I know through the years, if you've been in it enough, lots of times you have people within the state that you call on. So, I've had members of my family that haven't gone to this sort of things, but gone to the Mountain High situation in Colorado, which is similar to
Yep.
where kids go. I've had people go up to Maine and do the whole trail work through the summer that I've known. So it sort of sounds a little like a combination of those things that you're doing. You're putting people to work because you're paying here in this situation. Those were volunteer situations, or you paid to do it. You being the person that's doing it. So in all those cases, I know that the people that come back from that had said nothing but good things about those experiences. And
So the benefit, the strength, I think, of our program is because you don't have to pay to participate. And you get paid. It makes it accessible to people at all ends of the economic spectrum.
that's right.
And, in that sense, it's very much mission driven.
And these kids you recruit are not, they're all kids, and not just from troubled homes or anything. It's
No,
just about any-
our model is we want kids who face some challenges in the home front, often born out of poverty, but we also want them working alongside kids who come from more fortunate homes. For two reasons. One, lots of times, those generalizing here, but the kids who come from more fortunate homes look at individuals who are poor and they think they're stupid.
Right.
And we know that's not the case, but if you're 17 and you haven't been in the world that long, you don't know that. Yet when you find yourself working alongside that person, and she or he is much better at building a bridge than you, or works harder than you, or is funnier than you suddenly realize this is a great person.
Yeah.
And it breaks down a lot of those class barriers. So at the same time, a person who may come from a home and doesn't really have much of an educational future can work alongside that kid who's going to go to Harvard the next year and realize, hey, this is really interesting being around someone who's got a more active or academic mind. So there's learning that happens in both directions.
So you go into the Mount Anthony High School and recruit kids with you?
Yeah. I mean, we're already doing that, and I'm sure there are Mount Anthony kids who are working on crews in other parts of the state. But it would be pretty great if they could be working in their own backyard.
Sure. Sounds like a wonderful program.
So, seeing this as something new, what would be our next step if it's something we want to do?
Well, I don't know where you all are. I mean, I said there's two things that jumped out at me from that
Obviously,
article.
you'd have to plan first. We'd have to.
Yeah, so I think the next step, is this the group that's trying to figure out what to do with that town forest?
Well, at this point, what we're trying to do is work on the access
Yeah.
issues for the town forest, and we're hoping to be able to work that out this year.
Yep.
And make it happen.
Yeah.
But of course, that doesn't mean that the town forest ain't there, because you can go on the New York side and come down into the town forest just about anywhere, because the kind of crest trail runs across top of it. So basically, there's things that might be able to be done to prepare for when the access comes from the Pownal side.
Yep.
And I guess that's what came to mind when I heard what you were talking. We talk about trails or even
trails
lean-tos for people to camp in and so forth. Those sort of things might be able to move forward in parallel while we're fighting the issues over access.
So a logical next step, I think, would be, I could send someone down from our operations team over the course of the summer, and they could walk the forest with one of you and think about where a trail system might go, and you could phase that out.
I would say the person to talk to is, was it Jim Henderson that did all the GPS work?
Yes.
And
We already kind of had a trail system kind of mapped out
Yep.
for the Bennington Regional Commission.
Okay. So we could
he
walk.
mapped out the existing trails that are there. So what we would need is, I'd say, work with him, and then maybe there's other trails that we could put in or move these trails to a different spot. But I would say work with him first, because only because he got all these GPS points on a map, and he has the ability to plot those out for you, and then you can tell where certain spots already are good for trails, I should say, or able to be worked on.
I wonder if we should have like a committee, like a community committee, a rec committee, or something that could get involved and kind of not just have our decision or opinion on what we're gonna do there. Maybe have some input from the people that use it right now, that, obviously there are people that hunt, but I would think that we'd wanna have some involvement from the community, maybe a committee, that would give us maybe some feeling, you know, maybe not.
Now,
We have a rec committee already?
I think it's kind of
It's not
inactive.
it's not
Okay.
And I know originally, when they started that committee, part of it was to, I forgot, what was the guy's name that moved away? He was talking about doing trails and everything else.
Yes, I can't think of.
Ken.
And
And when we dedicated the park and everything down there, they talked about marking trails and everything, and that was 15 years ago. But we do need more active
Yeah,
participation.
well, and I guess I think it all comes back to me to the issue we've been dealing with for a long time, and that's access. You're gonna have people come in and say, okay, let's work on a program for this land that we own, but be aware at this point, you've gotta come in from New York State.
right, I mean, we basically, when we required the mountain and we did the recreation plan, but we were not able to implement it.
Mhm.
So there is a plan already in place that we talked about.
Could you share that
And
plan with me? That would be
Yes.
really helpful.
We have it.
Yeah.
And we already had some drawings of already of a trail system that the BCRC worked on.
Yep.
Just couldn't move forward.
What happened is our main access point washed out. And I mean literally washed out.
It wasn't there, yeah.
There was a road that people drove up to the reservoir all the time, but it's no longer there and it's clearly gone. I guess you can wiggle up through and walk through a space about that far. and get
Walk
in.
this way.
But it's,
For
but you got a pretty,
what happened.
but you got a pretty high drop off there because of what occurred. So from the time we started the project to where we are, there's been issues where we need to solve that. Now, there has been some exploratory people that are doing things, which we're gonna have a meeting on the 29th with, to talk about, with legal and others, to see if we should proceed on access points we think we have.
So we are in the process of doing that. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I got that sense from talking with Linda and from reading the article. And
Yeah,
Makes
and
sense.
there might be some solutions that's coming up fairly quick, and there might be some that takes long.
well, I'd love to see the plan. You know, I think it'd be worthwhile for someone from our operations team to really look at the plan and then try to ground truth it, walk around up there,
Yep.
and then, you know, get a sense of if we were to do one of these trail loops, how much work would that consist of? How many people over how many weeks? And then we can start digging what's really an abstract conversation to something a little more concrete. We could do that on a parallel track at the same time you all are trying to figure out your access issues.
Yeah, and at that, I think there'll become a point where we certainly will be asking the public to put in their information and ask people to join a committee to
Yep.
help and work with you, or whoever does these sort of things. That'll come forward, but the real issue at this point is what access and how many access do we have.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, thanks
Thank
for.
you.
Thank you for
Listening.
coming in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Right.
Yep.
And if we know of anyone, we can send them that, anybody who wants to join the
Send them to the website with slots for the second half of the summer still open.
Oh, great.
Good.
I
You
would,
could be a crew leader.
No, thank you.
I'd just like to add my thanks to all of you for your service to the town of Pownal. I've been on the other side of the table, and that's why I'm on this side of the table.
Yeah,
We'll see you tomorrow.
yeah, I'll see you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, no problem. Take care.
See you, Priscilla.
Bye, Joyce.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's do the bid thing first, because we have somebody here, and then you've been here a while, and we might be able to let you escape. Culvert bid. And I'm not talking about the invitation, but bid for the equipment.
Oh, you're not? You're
No, I'm talking about the
about-
culvert one, so we can get them out from Mount Anthony Road. Why don't you come on up and join us, Joel? There's a sheet there that Linda gave us. It has various big quotes and a recommendation. And we're gonna let you start this off, Joel. You can, the mic's yours.
Thank you. Okay, as you people can see, we did get our bids in. Hamilton
And we should tell
Construction,
people out there what this is for. It's the Mount Anthony.
the Mount Anthony culvert, the first one. Hamilton Construction was the low bidder. We had 3 bidders. We checked out references and everything looks good on it. I think if, you know, we talked about going with the aluminum or the box culvert. So we need to make a decision to go forward.
Okay. What would the board, the question is, do we go with the box or do we go with the aluminum? I'm gonna jump right to it. What do you guys wanna say?
Well, the box is gonna take us till September before we even get it, right? According to this?
Yes.
That'd be the perfect time. The water will be down low.
Probably will.
You only have the ability to work in the water until when?
October.
Out of time.
So what's your pleasure, guys?
The
Aluminum?
The engineer is telling us they both provide a long 75-plus year service life.
Yeah.
I'd really recommend, I'd like to try the aluminum culvert with the head walls and wing walls.
I think I would too.
Actually, I got one board member agreeing with you. I haven't heard from the others yet.
I'm not gonna play dumb, I am dumb when it comes to any of this stuff, so
So ask
you
the
guys go
question.
ahead and recommend.
Only
It'll,
put it's less town share if we go the aluminum.
yeah,
Yeah, cost us less. But
and quicker to put in, quicker to get something.
what do you think, Bruce? You've been around this stuff.
I know, I think concrete's better, but I'd almost like to try the aluminum.
Look,
I don't know that much about the aluminum.
basically, it's gonna be a open bottom. So your water mainly is gonna run through the concrete part anyhow, for the most part.
Oh, so you're gonna have a concrete bottom and aluminum sides?
Footings, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So you basically put in the footings concrete and then fill it with gravel so the fish can do their thing. And
Right.
So this is your bit.
Right.
have
You
you,
can introduce yourself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have.
I'm Wesley Hamilton Construction.
can you tell it? Have you? I assume you've done both of these, concrete and
I've
aluminum.
actually not done the aluminum. I've done several concretes. I haven't done the aluminum open bottom. We did some galvanized, they were galvanized metal, I guess, but coated metal pipe last year in Andover. Essentially the same. It seems to be a common debate in towns of which to go with, and the guy that sells the aluminum stuff pushes them pretty hard. I will say that with the concrete, we kind of had that September date, but that was a if we get approval quick, if we get the engineered drawings done and approved quick, then potentially we could have it in September, but we're pushing, it's definitely late.
Okay, we're pushing July here now.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do kind of think that, just from my point of view, the stress level would be a little less if we went with the aluminum maybe. That's really up to
And that's
you.
mainly because of the timetable of working the
Timetable,
water.
yeah, right, yeah. And just, that there's a time period of, from the start point until we're ready for the box or the aluminum, either way. We do the excavation, we pour the concrete in place, we backfill it, and then we put the structure on top of it, and then we finish backfilling. Either way is the same process, but with the aluminum, we could have the aluminum culvert sitting there and
Ready to go.
and know that it's ready to go. With the concrete, we would essentially be doing that, hoping that it gets here at the right time and the road's gonna be closed. And if we get half done and things do go wrong.
Delivery wise.
Yeah.
I guess I'd make the motion that we would go with the aluminum and award it to Hammond Construction.
Okay.
How do you feel, Ryan?
I'm gonna say Ronnie hasn't spoken.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's all new technology, right? Aluminum is clay. I've seen a lot of aluminum and it does deteriorate. They're making aluminum cars. I worked in a big factory, made a lot of aluminum stuff. Where it worked real well was on Navy ships because it was light. And they'd incinerate and go to the bottom when they got hit. So it has its drawbacks. Concrete is a stable thing. And you can see I'm an old school guy. And I'm not concerned about the date because look at the whole calendar has moved ahead at least a month. You're gonna October, September and October, that's when people dig wells. There ain't no water.
Yeah.
That's when they're digging them.
But the thing is, Ronnie, we have dates from June until October that you can work in the streams. If we go beyond that, we have
You just said it
to
was after
apply.
October.
October 1.
No, yeah, we have to,
That's it, out of the water.
Yeah,
apply.
We have a grant that's gonna.
and we have a
You
grant.
asked me my opinion, I gave it, that's all.
No, that's okay.
He likes concrete.
Well,
We
sounds
just have
like
a
it lasts
deadline on
longer.
the
I like concrete too. I think it'll hold up better, but you're kind of up against the wall.
I had
You gotta make a decision.
I had one more thought about it, and I completely understand, and that's why I think we tend to do concrete structures, especially under a paved road. It seems to be more people lean more towards the concrete. I think under a paved road for some reason for longevity. But I had one, so they talk about it lasting 75 years. Or the metal pipe that we put in last year that was coated with this trench coat, it's called, that's guaranteed for 100 years. And I just got thinking about it in a more off the wall way of thinking about it. But 100 years ago, people really didn't care what there was for a culvert in the road. And who's to say 100 years from now, people are going to care what roads are even there? I mean, they're already. That's,
Everyone will be wider by then.
yeah, we might be flying, Who knows?
The farm equipment keeps getting bigger and bigger. We need a wider road.
Yeah.
I got a motion to go with the aluminum. Am I gonna get a second?
Second.
For that? You got a second for that. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
You
Say
said
I said,
aye.
yeah. Yes,
Aye.
Aye. Ronnie?
I'll go with a clay culvert, no matter what. We'll see how it works out. I won't be around 100 years from now.
They won't be able to holler about you then.
We had some photographs. The
Aye.
engineer about a
I
month ago.
sent
We
them
had
to
some
Ron.
pictures
They were-
of the aluminum being used in the ocean.
I was
Salt
just
water.
trying to pull those up. Did you see those?
We did,
Yeah.
and
51 years old and in the salt water?
and it seems like. So I'm hoping maybe they made some
He sends
improvements
that
for
one
Well,
to
the
well,
aluminum
so-
since
I guess so, yeah.
Ronnie dealt with
He
it.
told me he just
Well,
took
51 years. Well,
Yeah.
51 years is okay with me too. I'm with
I've had
Ronnie.
that
I mean,
since the
they
start.
can come holler at me
I'm
then.
wondering how long a galvanized one would last.
Yeah. Okay,
Also,
well, it was
we're ready.
unanimous.
We're going with the aluminum.
We're going with
Pack your
Wes as the
bags.
contractor.
Back to the
Yes.
office.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yep,
yes.
we made a motion to go with the bid.
Yeah, that was all in the motion.
Yeah, we'll award
Yep.
to the low bidder, Wes.
Yep.
Hammond.
Okay. You all set?
All set, all right.
Unless you got
Good.
questions for us?
I've got a certificate of insurance.
Good.
That was asked at the.
Yeah.
So do you have like an estimated time frame or any type?
No, I really haven't been able to nail it down because I didn't
Okay.
know which direction we were
Sure,
going.
okay.
So knowing that it's aluminum, there's no problem getting the aluminum structure. The problem is going to be coordinating with the concrete, the precast in place concrete. That's going to be the tricky part now. But now that I know, we don't have to wait. We'll just get in as quick as we can.
Okay.
So I guess I would ask that as soon as we have even a rough idea of time frame, that we could do maybe a notice to those residents that are going to be affected by this.
Yeah, so we're gonna close that road. We need to put a sign up once we know for sure.
What
And we
did
should do that.
you think for a time frame?
Well, the last conversation I had with, I was actually working on another project with him, with a concrete company, was, and I may search around and see what else I can find for options, but he said that he had some availability in June still, and then he said July and the beginning of August was looking really busy for him.
Was that precast footings or?
That's the cast in place. Yeah, that's just the the company that I worked with before. That it's a little hard to find people that want to do these cast in place footings. They're like your normal foundation guys won't touch them. It's
There's
kind of
a couple
commercial thing.
in Bennington that might.
Yeah, there's it's just a little more. intricate.
You'll keep us informed. You'll keep the people on the road informed by putting up a sign when the time, so that they know weeks ahead, plan accordingly.
We do have to sign the contract at some point.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Just to
We
make
did
it
it here.
official.
And is there a time frame that you were thinking that works better for people, town, something that doesn't work?
I don't think it's gonna be that big a thing. I mean, well, school buses, so.
I think one of your
They
biggest
don't want
inconveniences could potentially be your farmers up there, because a farmer's going to make it difficult for a farmer to go all the way up around cold storage road. So if we could,
Stoners, they got their all the stuff done up there. They've got the chop. all
First
done.
cut done.
Yeah.
but again, we could make those contacts and maybe coordinate.
Right. I mean, I guess my schedule right now is a little flexible. It's nailing someone down for concrete.
Sure.
You'll be into August, probably mid to late August anyhow, right? What you're thinking?
I would tell them to move over as quick as you can.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Or do
now,
you think quicker?
if I could find something, if we could arrange it to work out quicker, then I would be willing to do quicker. But if, like I said, I didn't put a lot of effort into trying to figure it out because I didn't really know
Sure.
what direction we
Yeah,
were
I
going.
Well,
understand.
you can tell
Yeah.
Joe and he'll tell us next month just when it's gonna occur.
Right. Is there so we just have to sign the contract. It's going to be, I think it's about 4 weeks to get the aluminum structure. So it'll probably be, and we've got a couple weeks of work to do before we have that. So
Okay. Would the board make a motion for me to sign the contract? That way we don't have to wait and do it at a board meeting.
Did you get the bid, the book?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Someone else
Did you
can sign it.
61 pages or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a
That's
motion.
The contract.
Second.
Second.
Hold
Right.
it a minute,
Yep.
Joe.
So
Joe, hold up.
Kind of sign that.
Hold up. We're talking. Getting a motion. You get a motion to sign the contract, and
Yeah.
I got a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll sign it. You don't have to come to a meeting with it. Okay?
Yeah.
So now what else you got to talk about the culvert thing at this point?
I think we're good with it, I guess.
Okay.
Unless you have any.
I want to move on to bids and get rid of this equipment we have.
I think I'm done, right?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just keep in touch with Joe and then we'll have a date. That's all.
Yeah, you got my phone number.
I don't know that I do. I had your email today. I was going to call you to see
Interested
if
in
I
any
should come
vehicles?
tonight.
Yeah, do you want to buy some
What do you have?
equipment?
Yeah.
We got crushers, we got all kinds of stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
We don't now.
We might not.
Too late now.
Yeah.
It's
Missed
already
out.
Oh, yeah, the bids already came in.
Yeah.
Well, we got some stuff nobody bid on.
Got stuff that belongs in the Smithsonian Museum.
Those are the things that didn't get bid on.
Should you have a gravel pit that you're not running anymore?
No, we run the gravel pit.
Oh.
It's cheaper to have someone come in and do the crushing for us.
Basic.
Just bring it in to get what we need, 40,000 yards, whatever we need, put it up.
4,000.
I want 40,000, 10 years worth, so I never have to worry about it. I wanted that culvert, 50 years.
You let us know how it works out.
Great. Yep.
Cell phone's the best one, probably that way.
You have my number? My cell phone number?
Yes, Actually, it was on the bid sheet, right? On your bid sheet, you had two numbers on
Yeah,
there.
probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can get a hold of you.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Bye, Russ.
Plus,
Take care.
okay. The high bidder on the Austin Western Jaw Crusher was Sean O'Donovan, $13,500.
Did they need to come and see it work, or did we even get rid of it? They came to look at it.
They came, yeah. Yeah, I had a bunch of people.
Good. Get a motion to go ahead with that bid?
It
Sell
wasn't 20 cents, was it?
So,
I'd make a motion.
Was it?
Accept the bid.
Second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, Crusher sold, you can let them know. We accepted the bid.
Sold.
What's
Okay.
another one we got here that somebody bid on?
Yeah, Joe Strohmeyer bid on Old Black Beauty,
Wow. Been around a while.
$250.
We get a motion, guys?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You can let him know that he's bought himself Black Beauty.
The International Dump Truck, we had an inquiry, actually I did at 4:15 tonight about it.
He'll give you a price?
He wants to come and look at it, and I told him he was welcome to come and look at it tomorrow. So, we have put it out to bid twice, and we haven't had any bids on it. So if he offers us a,
Come back and tell us what he offers and we'll go.
But I think you gotta let the other people know that we remove the minimum, and I think you may have.
More bids. Here's what I'd like from the board. It's a motion for the equipment that we did not sell
oh, sorry about that.
to remove the minimum bid and to open it up to bid
Well,
until it's sold.
You know, maybe we don't have to remove the minimum, I don't know. If we put that out there, then we just did. You know,
Maybe
What
he's
I'm
gotta
saying
bid
is
the
that
minimum.
there are people that decided not to show any interest because of the minimum. I think if you let someone
Okay, what,
bid against it, I don't think
Well,
that's
if his bid is higher than the minimum,
right. But okay.
or at
I
least
think that's what.
Oh, yeah, that's what you're
Yeah.
saying. You're saying that. Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm
meets the
sorry.
minimum,
Yeah,
at
if it meets
least.
the minimum,
Gotcha,
then
gotcha.
Let it go.
Absolutely, yes. Okay.
But I think if we do put it out as such for now, then
well, you got somebody interested in it, so yeah, I understand where you're going. Let's leave it that way and see where we are
for the time being.
for the time being. But at some point,
Well,
you got two things left. You can't
if
sell that tractor?
the guy,
Don't you have a farmer friend that'll
Not-
buy that tractor?
not yet, we'll be in a big hurry, you know? Because then we end up giving them away, is what we do if you're in a big hurry and, you know,
Well, they've been set.
make
They won't hurt
nothing.
They haven't hurt the ground setting over there yet, have they?
Oh, it's in the shed down there, it's undercover.
Keep it undercover.
Oh, that one?
Yeah,
Wow. I'm surprised
Old
you
trucks
didn't
are gonna
sell
be
it.
hard to get rid of for much longer with the new inspection. You can't even have rustic brake lines anymore. They're, big trucks are gonna give a hard time, so.
Well, they're doing it with cars too now. They
I
hook
suggest if
everything
you got somebody who wants it, just let it go, because otherwise you're gonna get junk price.
up. Well, I guess the question,
That's my opinion.
well, let's see if we get minimum bid. If the, well, I don't even want to make that one. I want to see what he's going to offer us.
Right.
I'm with you, Joe. Let's see
You got somebody interested, let it,
then you can just send it to the board and we'll move on it one way or the other. Okay?
well, yeah, and then,
he's probably listening tonight too.
Well, that's okay. Well, let's let people out there know what we got left. We've got a John Deere 301A two-wheel drive tractor with a 7-foot mid-mount sickle bar.
sickle bar, yeah.
Mower.
Diesel motor.
Diesel motor. And what we're looking for is a minimum bid of $5,000
They're 75 to 85 all day long on,
on eBay and elsewhere. Yeah, okay.
But maybe-
Then we have a 2001 International Dump, 6-speed with 2-speed rear, DT466 engine, 5 to 7 yard dump body, air brakes, needs repair. Minimum bid, $2,500. Those are the two things we got left out of the four things we put to bid. If someone is interested, please contact Joel and give us a bid. Okay?
Can you read the phone number?
And you can contact him. Is there a phone number?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can contact him at 802-442-2056.
He come in to see you tonight, the fella, didn't he, Linda? Yeah.
Okay, and that takes care of the equipment disposal. We'll move on to budget adjustments and
Okay.
unless you got something else you
No,
want.
the grading's coming good. We're, if it doesn't rain, heading to Peak Spine tomorrow. We're getting caught up. We put all our efforts in this nice weather into grading right now and mowing and
Good. Okay.
Joel, Sean's bid is as quoted.
20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case somebody
No,
bid
he
these
did.
in.
Okay. Good sense.
He's bid on,
He's
things
bid on
before.
things before.
And sometimes bids come in, people, he wants it. That's all it takes.
And we're gonna give people 2 weeks to liquidate the
Get it out.
trucks and
Yeah, get 'em
so
out.
they don't hang around the yard.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay then.
Okay.
If I
Thank
do
you.
something, I'll give it to Linda and, have the truck next week.
Thank you. Budget adjustments, folks. Everybody has seen your budget adjustments that's been put in from the treasurer. Can we get a motion to approve these?
Yeah, I was just looking for something else. That's all.
I think we can make a motion to approve. This is from Ellen, that she needs to make the adjustments from the legal fund reserve to the legal fund budget. Do we have to do each one separately?
Or you can, well, I do the general fund in a group. I don't have a mind with that, as long as you do the ones that
That's what I
way,
was
and
gonna
then do-
suggest, just make a motion to do the general fund adjustments as recommended by the treasurer, and then do the road one separate,
Yeah,
so that,
that's gonna-
to separate the budgets.
I guess, question, why are we moving these? Is there a reason?
Yeah, you
Have we spent too much out of one place?
Yes.
Okay. All
We
right,
do it every
that's-
year. We make them.
All right.
So,
All right, I'll make a motion to move from the general, all the items from the general fund,
in the general fund.
in the general fund.
Okay.
Making a motion to move $43,400.
No, that's one line. But, well,
We're
we'll read
talking
it,
about
let's
the-
read
And
it,
the
let's,
contingencies that I'm up to, I thought it was taking care of that stuff.
yeah, they
It
found
is.
more things in the red.
We gotta do a lot better job budgeting if we gotta do this.
Yes, I agree.
You know, we should
Or we
be
got, or
thinking
we
about
got, or
money
we
in
gotta,
December
or we gotta
rather than
watch,
now.
or we gotta watch what we were spending. We spent a lot of things last year in a manner that was, well, let's read them off. I'm gonna read them
let's
off.
read
Legal
them
fund
off.
reserve to legal fund budget, $15,600. Gonna move from the transfer station building fund reserve to transfer station building fund budget, $600. We're gonna move from the contingency expense line to all listed expense lines, the total of $43,400. The expense lines, if you look on the next page where it says general fund and you see that long list of items, those are the things that are being moved, okay? If you notice these small budget lines, some of them only have $400 to $50 to $100. Well, what we're doing is balancing those lines out in our budget by moving, okay? That's why you're doing it with the general fund. I had a motion to approve and a second.
Who was second?
I did.
Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor with the general fund moves, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now the road fund. Get a motion to approve those, and then I'll read those off too. You want me to read them first?
Whatever you wanna do. I'll make a motion to approve them.
A second.
Second.
Okay. Basically, in the road fund, we're moving from the building fund reserve to the building fund budget, $44,796.56. From the gravel crushing reserve to the gravel crushing fund budget, we're moving $7,660.36. From the equipment fund reserve to the equipment fund budget, we're running $7,457.11. And then asking the board to move unspent monies in the sum of $53,900 to cover the over expenditures that also showed in the breakdown of the road. Now you gotta remember, in the building fund, we built a salt shed. That's why you're moving 44,000 over to balance out. On the gravel crushing, we did some extra gravel crushing this year, so you moved to 7,000. I'd have to look back to see why the ones were in the general fund, but these other ones I pretty much, in equipment fund reserve to the equipment fund budget, we bought some equipment that was higher than the line that was there. So, and the other things, as I said, if you look at the line, you see how they're all lined up, where she's got them for each budget line in the road. She gave you a sheet that shows you how she's trying to get those done. There's everything from payroll, expenses that were too high, to gravel sand, and we did buy a lot of sand last year and other things. So, I got a motion, I had a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays, 8 nays, okay, carried. Thank you. Okay, moving on. I just wanted to make a statement that I've been conversing back and forth with the clerk to try and get a handle on what is owed to the state through the expenses. As you know, we've been working on trying to balance out for the end of this year. She has some reports, but she's going to try and reconcile them with the state. I think is the best way to say it. And I'm asking her to try to give me a heads up, let me review what she has at this point, so we can get it in and start doing it. I just want to have an understanding so when we talk, we'll be a little better off on it. But I wanted to let you know that I am talking back and forth with the clerk on it. And what we're really looking to do is we're going to do whatever we can this year and reconcile at the end of the year. So when we go into July 1st, we will start another year, and if we find more things, it'll come out of that year's money versus this year's money. So, because you got to remember, we're still moving forward with the same program next year as well through March.
So we're trying to make sure any money owed to the state gets paid.
That's right. It's good. We're going to make sure that the clerk expenses are paid by the clerk. Just any other comments? I think that's what our agreement was, that we wanted to make sure that balanced it out, that the town wasn't
The
paying.
way I remember it was, we were gonna take and make sure that, any of these monies that were paid.
That's right.
Before we destroyed anything or did anything else. That's the way I understood it.
That's right. And basically, if you look at what we're collecting per month, and this year, we're gonna be balanced out okay, from what I can see. Next year, anything we find from previous years, we're gonna have another large sum of money. Because we're getting between $3,000 and $4,000 a month, if you look at what's been handing us, that we would pay anything that we haven't found yet this year. I just wanna make sure that when we're audited, that we balance our books for this year, so that they're not coming back to us and say, what are you doing with somebody's money?
All right, and you've asked the assistant clerk to get this to us for the
Yes,
last meeting in June?
that's correct. And basically, as long as we have a cash flow that can meet our debt, then I'm okay. If we didn't, then I'd worry about it. We're fine. Even based on the amount that they were talking about. Okay, just so you're all on board. Anybody have any problem with that, I guess? This is what is balancing our budget for this year. We just did
The
a whole-
budget, you mean, that we just did?
Yeah, the one that, this here, where we're moving money around, well, we're gonna do the same. What we wanna do is July, we want to close out last year's, is our goal. So we'll start again in July 1st for the next year. That's what the goal is. And of course, when that happens, I'll ask the treasurer and others to come in to tell us how they're balancing that out. So we make sure that when we have an audit done, we're not saying we're keeping somebody's money. Okay?
Well, I mean, I have a concern with it because when we talked it over before, I mean, it's fine. We can pay off this debt, but we're paying it off by having a person work for $15 an hour. And all the fees and shit, all the fees and stuff are going, you know, into that fund rather than being.
They're not going into a fund, they're going into a bank account that belongs, if you look at the statutes, and I've talked to the state, that belongs to the clerk. That money is the clerk's, by law.
By law, okay. Well, see, I would like to have somebody with some real authority to explain that to me. Because I worked in quite a few places. One of them was the largest company in the world. And when you were incapable of work, you did not get paid. That was period. You did not get paid. And so if there was debt incurred, you didn't take it from someone else.
No, if they had to pay insurance, they had to pay their insurance.
What I'm trying to say is, we gotta do this correctly, and I don't want somebody, I think the assistant town clerk has done a heck of a job to generate this money, and it's being thrown in. Actually, we're cheating her out of it. She's the one that's collecting the fees. The other person is incapable of coming to work. That's my understanding. In any place I ever worked, if you were incapable of coming to work, you no longer was an employee. I mean, when I worked for the largest company in the world, if you went out, no matter what you went out for,
I think
you wanted to come back in, you even had to go through a physical.
I think there's a difference in elected officials.
That's right, but I want somebody to give me an elected, I want somebody who knows this law to tell me I can't see rewarding people
For
not doing what they should have been doing. I got that sticks in my craw. People probably don't like it. I'm outspoken and everything, but that's sticks in my craw.
No, for years, there's things that we haven't liked about elected officials in this town, and we've been told clearly what we can do and can't do.
But if this happened when she was first elected 3 years ago, I mean, she'd still get paid for 3 years until the next election. I can't believe there isn't something.
I gotta have somebody
There's
tell me
There's
that.
got to be something somewhere.
I'll send you some
You have
statutes.
to read the statute.
I know what the statutes are. I read the statutes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say that somebody's not able to complete their job for X amount of time still gets paid.
No, it's vague.
Here's the point. I mean, I don't, if somebody gets a stipend, don't even have a problem with that. But I have a problem with the fees. Person is no longer doing that. I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
And I want somebody to tell me, some kind of guy with a legal speak. We move some legal money, let's move a couple more dollars, and I want somebody, maybe the Secretary of State or somebody, to say, hey, look, this is the way it works. Because you know what? I've been proven wrong before, but I'd like to have somebody tell me
And I agree
that
with you.
really knows this. I don't know this stuff.
Okay, I'll have to send you an email that came down from somebody that made it clear they're not a lawyer, but they sent me the statutes. And that's what I have, is a list of the statutes of how the fees go to it's just the way it is. It's elected officials are totally different than an employee, because I'm with you. If you're an employee, and you don't do your job, you don't get paid. And we've argued that all the
Yeah,
time. We've been arguing that for a long time
almost a year
with a
now,
lot of
yes.
things here.
I mean,
But
we nickel and dime people for, over a minute of overtime or something.
I know. Hourly paid employees are different than the others. Now, I think one of the things that's going to happen is I think when we have an election next time, is as the Dorset clerk told us, we're gonna run some articles that basically talk about, and we need to set a good salary for our clerk if we're gonna do this.
Absolutely.
You're gonna pay your clerk a decent salary, and the towns are fees and so forth are gonna go to the general fund of the town,
That's the way it should be.
and basically do that by a town vote. So
Gotta have
so
a
it's
vote of the
done.
town.
The other thing that has passed, just so people know, and it went in effect on May 10th of 2017, is that you can also run a ballot article that basically says that the legislative body can appoint the clerk if the town votes for that to be the procedure. In other words, it wouldn't be an election anymore. She would be an official working for you because you appoint and hire her. And then you
that's
would
the
pay her
town
a
clerk.
salary, you would pay her a salary, and the fees would come to you. So those are all options that are there for when the time when we do a vote, because they just went in effect.
And that new article is also for a treasurer position.
That's,
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Town
okay.
clerk and treasurer position.
So, but they're voted on by the people. They're not something
right.
we decide.
and lots of times that's why they kept it that way. We used to have road commissioners, and they were voted on by the people.
And they
And
changed the
that's
statute.
the way they kept it. And the people liked it that way because they know a lot. They go south on a person, they vote them out. Or see a body, you know, like here we are, you know, come on.
We change all the time. It could be different people here
That's
next
right.
year.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
The thing
but-
is that with these new articles, that I think it would be great. Of course, I'd like to see a vote of the town on it. We're not having a November election this year unless we, as a board, do a special election in November
Or
to
whenever.
pass these ballot articles, so that when March comes, we've already got them passed, and we know whether somebody has to run for this position or both of them, or whatever, one has expired or whatever, before the March election.
Then at that point,
So I
you
think
would know
that's
whether
something
or
for
not
us
you're
to think
appointing
on.
or not appointing.
Otherwise, we can do it all at the same time, but you're gonna have somebody running for town clerk, somebody running for treasurer. We're gonna have a ballot article on the fees, and we're gonna have a ballot article on whether
Well, see,
to
that
appoint
kind of
them.
jobs, so you know, they pay something.
Mhm.
That's why you don't get too much interest in this job.
Right,
It's not really that beneficial.
right.
But these jobs that do pay something,
Mhm.
you have a real interest in that.
And you'll have people applying for them. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. For these
Yeah.
jobs. So, I mean, you're gonna get somebody, you know, if they can make a living at it, that's a lot different than
Right.
us coming
Well,
up here.
Well, I think that's one of the things.
And I'd like
that-
to see us do a special election for these things.
Yeah, well, and I think the one thing that we should think about it when doing that, and if we're gonna, we need to decide what we're gonna pay a town clerk and what benefits we're gonna give them. Because if we're gonna run that, we better have it in the article that says they get X amount of salary and they get these benefits.
You know, that's why.
Then you lock, then somebody will sit in there and you're gonna have somebody that'll take the job and continue on knowing that they can support themselves with it.
Mhm.
That's true.
Today,
Shasbury just had 4 people run for that
But,
town clerk
You
position.
know, we didn't just evolve here. We ought to have a pretty good idea now that the fees that are collected, how much the town gets. We ought to be able to come up with a figure that's fair.
that's right, I'm with you.
I'm with you
You
too.
know, that's what I'm saying. I
I'm
mean,
with you.
I don't expect somebody to work for nothing.
Right,
And I
Never
don't,
did.
right.
and I really don't expect the town to make money on it. What I wanna do
No,
is
but
see,
if
I wanna
it
see a little
balances
bit of,
out, if the town, it don't cost us anything, per se.
Right.
Sure, it costs, and a person gets to, but then they're pretty dedicated to it.
You want to provide a good service too.
Right.
That's right. You're
Right.
gonna, if you're making a decent pay, you're gonna go a little bit extra. Do a little
that's
bit.
right, you're gonna learn
Right.
more, you're gonna
And-
work to get there.
Right.
That's right, and you're gonna be nice to people because you're gonna say, hey, look, I'm making a living here.
And not
People
only
need
that,
to stress every 3 years knowing whether they're gonna have a job.
that's
or
right,
not
well,
either.
not only
That's bull,
that,
I think.
you got a continuous job and you don't have to worry about the fear of the election or any of that. And it makes it so, I don't know, I think it makes it both good for the town and for that, because then you as a town also have some control. If there's some issues that come up, you can bring them in and talk to them.
That's right. That's where I see the advantage.
You know, so it works both ways.
Absolutely.
But just so,
I think we should add
I
the
think we'll get
store.
there eventually. It's just that I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that I'm just trying to find out how much we owe so we can pay.
But as far as the future part of it, I think we should discuss it again and see whether we want to do a special election, if we could put that on a future agenda, like Linda, a task thing or
Yeah, we
something.
won't be,
Not this month.
No, we got plenty to go.
no, that's in August probably, or,
August,
I was
or
just thinking August. July's looking pretty.
August, September even.
okay, guys.
Anyway,
Motion to adjourn.
I got one thing
Oh,
I
you
can
go
bring up.
ahead.
Last week, I don't know if we discussed it or not, about painting the church. I think we ought to hold off on this. That church is really bad shape, and that's all lead paint, I believe. So maybe maybe it would be better financed a while later.
What you need to do is look at the church, and you talk about painting, but you should look at the roof.
Yeah, the
Shingles.
roof in the front eave is falling off, and there's some bad.
You know, so when
I
we're
agree.
talking, when we're talking painting, we're talking fixing.
Yeah, well, you don't need somebody on a 40-foot ladder doing this either. That's what was brought up. That's why I'm bringing it up here today.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No.
I agree, and we've talked about it since
Right.
I've been on the board over
Oh,
and
yeah.
over, but we've got nowhere. My feeling is you make it look presentable
Right.
to the best you can.
Right.
If you don't want to do the church, I'm good with that, but
No,
I still
no,
think
it's not that we
have
don't-
our other buildings,
Right.
still we need to take care of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, well, a little maintenance can go a long way sometimes.
Sure.
I think we should hit the other buildings. I think we ought to really think about doing too much of that.
Okay.
I
I hate
agree.
to see
We
somebody
should-
fall off
We
that.
should, as
curb.
far as, any of these buildings, we shouldn't let them get so it's ill repaired. It costs us a fortune.
That's right.
Look at them once.
So my question is, so where do we go from here with the church?
I think we gotta have a real good look at it before we see what our finances are.
So,
Add that to another discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
This isn't
you're
gonna
not
be
gonna-
a-
No
you're
problem.
not gonna do it
I'm just saying, I think you
July
have to-
1st, you can talk about it because July 1st is a new batch of money.
Right, but it's gonna take some money if you really look close.
I agree,
That's
but
right.
I
We
think
might not have
Folks,
it.
it's unbudgeted expense that you
Yeah.
didn't build into your budget.
Yeah, that's right. You
Kind
have to look at capital.
Part of some of the
and-
reason why your road budget looks as ill as it does.
Yeah, I tried to put more in the equipment in a couple of.
No, I don't understand a lot of budget, so I don't wanna spend anything we don't. Huh?
It is awful, but what I've learned on that is, you can't just say, well, we did it for this much this past year. You gotta look at what we may be doing. And also there's circumstances that come up, especially like with the road and things, you get a tough winter. We had a couple that weren't too bad, but we had one before that was really tough.
Well,
And it cost us a lot of money that we didn't have, so it put us a little in the hole there.
You know, well, and let's face it, we expect sometimes when we set those budgets for the roads that we're gonna get grants and we end up with zip.
Well, that's part of it too, that's right.
You know, and that plays a lot into certainly the road side of things. I think the general's more, what we're really looking at is the legal and the issues of that, things that we never know what comes up. We have something that'll hit us from somewhere and we end up spending.
But I think we ought to do things with a little more common sense than we have practiced, you know? I mean, they took that cupola off of that thing. I'm sure I can name half a dozen people right in this town that could have fixed that,
I agree.
you know? And probably done some other work there. Here you'd have to pay them. You're not gonna get them for minimum wage, but they would fix it and it'd be done. But don't send the thing, or don't think it has to be put back to the exact same thing, you know?
Well, it was $90,000 to fix that thing,
That's
to
right.
bring it back.
15 years ago?
Yeah. So now it's probably 125.
For a building that we don't even use.
Maybe.
And it is our building.
That's
We own it.
right.
We own the whole
We own the
That's my
church.
point. That's my point.
Well, it's our building, we have some responsibility for. Okay, I had a half a motion there to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Got a
second.
second, okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Good chat, guys.